The Human Founder Podcast by Gali Bloch-Liran.
Hi, I'm Gali Bloch-Liran and welcome to The Human Founder, the podcast where we speak about the mental aspects of the entrepreneurial journey. Entrepreneurs often describe the emotional roller coaster that is embedded in being an entrepreneur or investor, where you experience the highest of highs, such as when you get the first governmental grant of 30,000 K, and this is the happiest investments you ever had, which make you feel that someone really believes in you. And the lowest of lows when you need to break up from your co-founder. And it's from that place of uncertainty, the need to constantly self-manage yourself, keep up our energy and be mentally resilient in order to deal with everything. Well, it's not easy. In each episode, I will be talking to entrepreneurs, investors, psychologists, being their sounding board, with the goal of creating a space for this less spoken about layer, which is the mental aspect accompanying the entrepreneurial journey. I will also share tips and tricks to help boost your focus, clarity, and mental resilience. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Sharon Barak. Hey, Sharon,
Hi.
It's really, really great to have you here with your smile.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Sharon, you are the founder and CEO of Solutum, a groundbreaking startup founded to eliminate single-use plastic for good. You have a BSc in chemical engineering from Ben Gurion University and an MBA graduate from Tel Aviv University. And in the last 13 years prior to Solutum, you worked as a chemical engineer. You're a mother to two boys, 1-year-old and 3 years old. They're pretty young. And they are your personal startups, right? I like to say it as well.
Definitely.
You share your life with Mike, who is a big part of pushing you, who took big part in pushing you to start your own startup to solve this problem. And you used to take part in a professional debate, winning debate competitions and participating in the delegation representing the university in the European Championship. We'll speak about it shortly. You love sports and run half marathon. And by the age of 42, you want to run a full one. So you have 2 years to go, right?
Yeah.
Quite a mission and a goal. And today, your main and almost absolute focus is your startup. So it's really great to have you here, and we're going to speak about so many interesting things. And maybe let's begin with how you became an entrepreneur. What was this eureka moment or this beginning of your entrepreneurial journey?
Wow. I think it was there all along. I mean, I obviously worked as an employee. I worked for Israeli military industry and other companies. But all along, I felt this voice inside of me saying, no, you need to have something of your own. I really wanted to do so. Had no idea how to do it. And at this point, had no idea what I wanted to do. Two things I knew I wanted to have. One, once I have something of my own, it has to be something in my expertise area, meaning I'm a chemical engineer, as you said, and I need to do something that I know what I'm doing. So I couldn't invent an application, an app for banking, because I have no idea how to do it. The second, it has to have a good and great impact to the world. Again, not to do an application for an app for banking. And after a few years an employee, building my career, having a great path, at my last job, I worked at a company that makes additive for plastic. I learned a lot about the plastic world, the good things and the bad things. I think there are many good things about plastic. The bad thing is, as you said, the waste, the pollution it creates at the end of its life. Huge pollution. And then all the dots came together. And I understood what I wanted to do. And I said, okay, plastic is good. The end of life is ruining our planet. We have so many materials. I have so many years of R&D and development. Let's see what kinds of material we can take and have the same benefits of plastic, but not ruin the planet at the end of the life of the products. And so I decided to quit my job and become an entrepreneur. I started Solutum, doing something with my expertise. I'm a chemical engineer, as I said, investigating how to have a replacement for plastic, the known plastic that we have today. And obviously, it has a huge impact potential to our planet. This is how I became an entrepreneur.
So it's really, you describe here a very strong why and how it's connected to your past and your previous experience and how all the stars came together and you understood that that's what you want to do. And that's great. But then you decide to become an entrepreneur. And being an entrepreneur, as we know, it's not just to have a great idea or really a solution that brings a lot of impact. It also requires a lot of support and mental decisions and personal decisions in order to kick off this journey. And you find yourself at the age of 35 leaving your job, right? Yeah. In order to launch it. And what happens then?
So at the beginning, my life partner back then, he was the one who pushed me and said, you have this big thing that you want to solve. Do so. And as I decided to do it, we broke up. And at the age of 35, I found myself without the love of my life, without a job. And obviously, I didn't have a job, so I didn't have money, so I didn't have a place to live. And that wasn't in the age of 25. That was in 35. And I kind of hit bottom at this point. I'm like, okay, where is the restart button? I mean, this is not the way my life was supposed to go. And from there, I truly started to understand the meaning of me being for myself. Okay, the power needs to come from me. And I invested all myself at the startup because I had the time, obviously. I got lucky. My aunt and my uncle, they let me live at their house. They have like a second floor, so I lived there for a year, and basically started the startup, from from the alley.
Garage, from the alley.
Exactly. And
already a better point to.
Yeah, and from having nothing, I feel today I have everything.
That's so beautiful, but not bad. But going back to this point of time, and you cannot forecast the future. No. You don't know that this is the way that within 5 years from now you're going to have 2 kids and start out to raise already a very nice amount and a company that is working and solving a major pain of this planet. So what helps you back then in this situation, in this year that you're maybe frustrated and sad and you don't know how to, where the resolution will come from, really to make this inner process with yourself and understand that you have to count on yourself, that the strength comes from inside, from within you. What helps you there to get to this understanding?
2 things. First, at that point, I had no plan B. I mean, okay, I found this thing I really wanted to do. Sorry, and I said, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, no other way. Someone told me this, this story. When you take your bag and you hit a wall, the best way to overcome the wall is to throw your bag to the other side, and then you need to figure it out. So that's basically what I did. Like, I threw the bag, and yeah, the startup needed to happen, and I was so happy to do so. I mean, I lived it like 24/7. This was my life, and I enjoyed it. I think that once you're enjoying what you're doing, obviously that helps. That's the most important thing, I think. The second thing, it was my support system. I know I said, I was alone and how I'm going to do it, but as I said, I had my family. So I had a place to live. That's it. That's important.
I wasn't in the streets.
Yeah, but more than that, I met Maya. Maya was the one who helped me, and we started the company together. Mm-hmm. And she believed in me. She was basically the only person who believed in me back then. And although she went back to work, so she was like only like really part-time at startup, but I had someone who I could call her my partner, even if it was just for like Shabbat or but she was there, and I needed to present to her and to show the progress to her, and we took it step by step together, and that was one of the things I think was going on for the startup, the fact that I had her beside me at the beginning. Yeah.
It's like we always say with the children that all you need is one adult that will believe in you, right? And reach out his hand in order to help you to take the next step. So also as adults, we also need this support and this one person, male, female, that will help us to take the next step. And another thing that I'm thinking about is like the strong of our inner belief. How impactful is our inner belief that you didn't see, you couldn't forecast what will happen in the future. You didn't know how the stars will align, but you believed in yourself and what you're doing and the impact that you're going to bring into this world. And you really loved it and were passionate about it. And fast forward 5 years or so, like, of course you have your challenges and like all of us, but things are moving, things are happening, things are happening in a great way, of course, with all the challenges. And I think that if we can take from it this little, wisdom together with us to the journey of life, that even in the lowest of lows and in the hard moment, the difficult moment, to really remember that few years from now, everything will be okay. We'll get there. The path may be difficult. We'll have many challenges, but it will be okay later on. And now you see it. Like 5 years afterwards, you see the fruits. You see how it evolves, etc. But really to believe in ourselves and in where we're going to.
Yep, definitely.
So you started a startup, and you didn't start it alone, right?
She was with me. The first stages, Maya was there. Again, not full time, but mentally she was there. And that was the most important thing for me.
And also at the beginning, you had another partner that you began actually the process together.
I had a few partners along the way. I probably did every mistake by the book you can do while building my startup.
I always hear this sentence from founders, so we all make mistakes, for sure.
Yeah, at that point I thought I was the only one, but then I understood it. Yeah.
You're not special. You are, but you're not.
Yeah. So, obviously I did so many mistakes. One of them, I don't know if it's a mistake, it's just the way things were. I really wanted this guy to be my partner, one who I looked up to him, a genius person, both technology and both business-wise. He's a genius. And we started to see how we can partner up together. We met with investors together. We discussed the technology together. He wasn't fully into it. And at a certain point, we said, okay, let's have a contract. And we couldn't agree on the terms. Couldn't agree, to say the least. And it became kind of ugly at some point. At some point, things like, I'm going to sue you. And unfortunately, we involved lawyers, which is pretty sad to have lawyers at like a pre-seed stage. And at that point, that was a very scary moment, because at that point I had nothing, basically. What you have in the startup is, okay, you have the technology, but you have the people. And it seems like a startup's not going to make it, because at that point you have a lawsuit upon you. What are you going to do? So 2 things happened. At first, the investors I found lucky. They saw beyond of that, because everyone told me around me, you need to figure it out, because nobody will invest money in the company if you have this threat. And I was very open with the investors about it. I told them the situation. I showed them all the emails, and they were willing to take the risk. They said, okay, this is manageable and we are with you. So that was a very good thing. The second thing is, at the end, I overcome the whole thing. I put the lawyers aside. I met with him in a friendly way, and we resolved it in a friendly way. That was the end of it. I was waiting for him to reply with the lawyer, and let's see what we're going to do. And I was ready. And basically, once you sit with a person in a very human way, we resolve that. And that's another lesson. And but that is those moments were kind of scary, how to overcome them. Yeah.
So first of all, thank you for your openness and for sharing it. And I'm sure it wasn't easy then, and it's not easy now to reflect back on this. But as a more experienced entrepreneur nowadays, and for younger entrepreneurs that are listening to you now, or female entrepreneurs or male entrepreneurs, so if you go back to this point of time that you are working together for several months, why actually, and considering be partners together, so we're reflecting back, why not asking the difficult questions in the beginning? Like to put the things on the table and to understand that we're aligned about this. What was there? Was it naive? You the two of you were naive, or that maybe you were afraid to speak about the things and you prefer to postpone this conversation until it was a little bit too much too late?
Actually, those are exactly the two reasons. And if there's something to learn about it, is yes, when you're an entrepreneur in the beginning of your way, you need to, stand up for those things. Yes, I was naive, and I was afraid. I mean, it's not a nice thing, to have to say the word contract. I mean, what did I know about contract back then?
Like the legal conversation sometimes threaten on us, just the legal conversation.
Yeah. And in the beginning also you say, what am I going to have a contract? I have basically nothing. What, a slide in the PowerPoint? Now we're going to have a contract, have lawyers and have a contract over a slide of the PowerPoint. And it's only when it starts to become real, then the issues raise up. So yes, the message is have a contract, even if you just have like a word on your PowerPoint, because you never know. If you believe in yourself and the dream is big enough, you will make it happen. And don't only trust luck to help you get out of it, and do it the wisely way. And not to be naive. It was my first time. Who knew it's going to be a success? Hopefully it's going to be a huge success. But, looking back, even to think about, we're going to raise $10 million looked like a huge thing. So it was those two things. Yes.
It will be published soon, but I have a very deep and long conversation with lawyer Guy Lachman, and we speak deeply about all those things. It's in Hebrew, but it's really so important to set in stone and to speak about, I always speak about it with the entrepreneurs I coach. Those are the major parts that if we don't feel comfortable to speak about in the beginning, and it's not just you, again, you're not special, then later on they come and they become much bigger issue.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's already too difficult, or it creates some kind of inconvenient situation to discuss. And part of the dating and part of the consideration whether or not to go together with a founder is actually understand that we're aligned in the things that we see. How should be involved in the company, what will be the strategy of the company, our roles, our day-to-day, how it will look like, our values. So all those things are so super crucial to speak about them in the beginning, because really later on it both creates problems, also tax problems, also later on legal problems, but mainly, the heart, it can break our heart, and it's really mental pain that we would like to avoid. And
it can destroy the startup more than that.
For sure, before it even began. And again, today it's International Women's Day, although we won't broadcast it now, but as two powerful women here, I allow myself to call us that way. So really not to be afraid. There are so many stressful and things that we might, fear from them. But look into the fear, into the eyes, and actually deal with it, and not thinking that if we'll postpone something, act with procrastination, or things will be resolved. No, if we want to get something done or resolved, we have to take our two hands and make it happen, or create a resolution. And if we'll time may solve some of the problems, but not those kind of things. So really to clarify it and to define everything is really, really important. And the third thing that you didn't say, but I will say it now for you, what's most amazing from those last two stories that you said, both about the age of 35 in the beginning and a little bit later on with this partner guy, is actually how you overcome everything. How with your smile and your good eyes and your inner strong belief, you really overcome very, very strong emotional and professional challenges because you believed in what you're doing and the impact that you have and the idea of this startup that you can make it. And now it's like 5 years afterwards, right? Oh, 4 years afterwards, and it's really amazing to see. Sometimes we don't look back to reflect and to see. Good job.
We don't have time
Sharon.
for it.
Maybe you did something good, and for the next time, for the next conflict, for the next challenge, we already learn what you said, that you know that you can trust on yourself and that you have it in you in order to succeed, and this is really how it looks like.
Thank you for reflecting it to me, because you're usually...
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So amazing. So then you begin, and before we dive into the startup, so I want to talk to you about another thing. You mentioned that you used to practice in the debate during your years in university. So what did it give you to the founder and to the entrepreneur that you are today?
Wow, so many. I think it needs to be like a must thing for every student. Already, I think in like Kita Aleph, I don't know. The reason I went to the debate was because I had no idea, I had no ability how to stand in front of the audience. I became like, it's a radio, so I don't know, but like fuzzly. And it was my 4th year in my university, my chemical engineering, and I knew that I wanted to have this research project, that at the end of the research project, you need to present it to the entire chemical engineer department, to the professors as well, which was terrifying. And me have no ability to stand in front of the audience, not at least to answer questions of these professors. I was like, what am I going to do? And then a friend of mine told me about it's the debate team, and I said, let's try it. And I joined the debate team. First sessions, wow, so bad. At the debate, you need to speak for 7 minutes. This is like a game. It has its rules, and you get to present whatever you want to say in 7 minutes. So I stood up. I spoke, I think, about 35 seconds. And after 35 seconds, I'm like, okay, any questions? No? Okay. That is how I started.
The best methodology is like to stop, to pause.
Yeah.
Anyone have questions? Then you give them the responsibility. You take some air, and you knew it before you even thought it, before you even learned it.
Yeah.
Right? It was natural for you.
The problem, there were nobody had a question. So shamefully, I left the stage. A couple of months later, I won my first competition. I was at. Won first place, and fell in love at the debate from all its aspects, how it makes you to listen to the other side, how it makes you to, practice and study. You need to study before to understand your fact, and to have a strategic way how you're going to tackle it, and obviously how to speak in front of the audience. And all of these things help me today. I don't know how I would do the startup without it. I mean, I need to do a pitch. This is what an entrepreneur does day and night and night and day. And I can do it quite easily, I think. It always kind of scary, the first seconds, like, when you're doing, how do you call the sport? When you go down a cliff, with a rope. I forgot the name. And, the second thing, the second you start it and you look down and like, what the hell am I going to do? And it's very scary. So this is the same as standing in front of the audience. But after this first second, I love it. I like it. It's fluent for me. And so yeah, definitely. I think I could not have done the startup without doing the debate thing all along before. So
I can completely relay to what you're saying, and I really think that there are various ways to do it, either by professional sports or dancing or debate, although the debate gives you also the experience of really the verbal one, the ability to communicate verbally with your audience, but the presence and the ability to hold the audience and to really provide your messages, it's so important, and I really agree with you from my point of view that it should be mandatory from first grade and on, to practice it. It gives you a lot of confidence that even if you fall, that's okay. You can go up and continue. And do you in any way help your team nowadays to practice it within your, the way that you manage the meetings, or the way that you help the women and men in your company to rise up and to learn how to bring their messages into the conversation?
So first thing I'm doing, and this is something new I just learned, because I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the founder, I started the company, and I really like to say all my ideas because I think, wow, they're so great. So what I learned is actually just to shut up. Really. I mean, I'm coming to a meeting and it's hard for me because I have all these ideas all the time, and I shut up and I let all the staff to speak, and they have great ideas. I mean, this is what I brought them to the company. They are a very smart team. And so this is the first thing to do to encourage other people. You need not to say anything. At the end, yes, okay, your opinion or idea maybe, but basically to let them shine and have their moment and to say what they have to say. So this is the first thing, and I'm working on it, trying to do it.
And it's not easy. We have to stop ourselves all the time, right?
Right, right.
But it's also growth for ourselves. I mean, it's a muscle that we're practicing, and we're also evolving in this as a personal growth.
Indeed. And actually, when you shut up, you actually learn a lot.
That's definitely. You learn a lot about yourself and also about the others and the knowledge that they have to share with you. Yeah,
because suddenly you really need to listen to other people, not just to your own ideas, and maybe to the feedback about them. Actually, who gave me this advice is a great CEO, a female CEO. It's Adi Sofer Ta'ani, and couldn't agree with her more. So thank you for that tip. Really helped. So this is what I'm doing.
But let's just put it in another framing. It's not like don't shut up. Just allow others to be heard.
Yeah, obviously you need to listen to them, not just like shut up and be on your phone.
No. Yeah. What I meant, there's a lot of impact to the language we choose to speak about our mind and about how other people communicate with us. So even here, don't tell you, like you told yourself back then in 35, I will make it, I will manage it, I will be okay, I will succeed, I'll do whatever I need in order to make it happen, and it happened. So the same, it's not that I need to shut up on the because it makes me maybe feel smaller. No. I want to listen to what others have to say, because I know I will grow as a manager, as a CEO, I will help my team to grow, and it's a different way to verbally said the same idea.
Agree, yeah. I agree. The shut up is just the name of the action.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm emphasizing is that sometimes we're too harsh on ourselves. And our inner talk, our inner conversation sometimes uses negative language that sometimes can be difficult later on. So trying to address things from a positive situation and from the learning point of view of what can actually happen there.
Yeah.
So nowadays, so you started Solutum, and you bring entrepreneurship into a very, 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 we'll say not high-tech, low-tech, or very, I forgot a word, very,
traditional.
Traditional, thank you, I forgot a word. Very traditional industry.
Yeah.
As a woman, as a chemical engineer, as a founder, you bring a completely different methodology, tools, language. What do you find there? How people are accepting it?
They don't really know what to do with me. But it's my job to show them. Okay, I will give you some examples.
Okay.
I went to the Valley like a few months ago. With a delegation of
We Act, right?
With We Act.
Yeah, of Daria Henning-Shaked.
Yeah, one of the best things I did. And also the delegation, also it's a group of women. Wow, inspiring. So we went there to the Valley, Silicon Valley, okay? Silicon Valley, where people are doing, I don't know, SaaS, cyber, definitely not biodegradable plastic. They don't even know what it means, I guess. Went there, and, you know, obviously it's hard to raise money as a woman and harder to raise money for something that doesn't really sound so sexy. And at the beginning, we met with tier 1 VCs. We said, great, you want to, you know, make a world a better place. Good job. We have no idea what to do with you. It was the turning point, I think, was actually with Andreessen Horowitz, when I just showed him. Okay, words are not enough, I guess, at this point. And I showed him what we are doing, and what we're actually doing. We are developing a biodegradable plastic that when you look at it, it feels and looks like a regular plastic bag. Let's take a plastic bag as an example. When it comes in contact with water, it starts to dissolve and then it disappears in the water and then it fully biodegrades. And when I showed it to him, he was like, oh, wow. That was like a wow moment. And I knew at that point I can start speaking with him.
So what took you so long to understand? You know, in the army, you learn that I'm not sure what is the right term in English, but that you need to show, okay, to show what you mean. Sometimes this is the best way, like to provide to give a message. So what took you so long to understand that what you have in the hands, first of all, is very visible, and is very impressive in the way that it is. That only then at Andreessen Horowitz, it hit on you.
I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that I thought it was a gimmick, you know, because I did it a few times before, and I wanted to you know, believe that what I'm saying is enough. But okay, if it doesn't work, let's try another way. And if it's not a gimmick, it's actually the product that we're doing. And if this is the solution, so yeah, great. Yeah.
So they were very engaged to see the solution.
Yeah.
And when you come to not just investor, to corporates or clients, and you want to make them use of this, so what is how do they respond to it?
Again, once I show them how visual it is, and sometimes they even drink the water because they are safe to drink. You cannot stay, you know, like, no, I don't care about it. Like when you see it, and you, obviously you start also to imagine and understand the huge damage and what we are facing. That helps. Obviously, we raised a few millions of dollars, so it helped.
And do you feel any difference being a woman entrepreneur in this field?
Goes without saying, I think. With any field, I don't know if particularly in this field. I must say that, you know, I had a career being a woman in a workplace with many men, and it was always okay. I mean, it didn't felt like beneath them, always like in the same level. So it's not like, you know, we aren't Yom HaIsha. So I must say, personally, I didn't feel that. As an entrepreneur, yes. And what I started to, and I listened to a TED Talk of a professor from Colombia. She was an entrepreneur, and then she started to investigate why female entrepreneurs raise less money than the men. And then she said the whole approach to women. So if you're a woman, people ask you how you're not going to fail. If you are a man, people are asking you how you're going to succeed. And I started to pay attention in all the meetings I am, and once I hear like this sounds of voice that they're asking me what I'm doing to prevent, I'm saying this is how I'm going to succeed. Okay, you need to be aware of it. And yes, obviously, still Yom HaIsha, and it's still much harder to be a woman in this world, in this specifically world of raising money and in startups and building a company. But make it an advantage. Always make it an advantage. You are unique in the in everywhere you go. Definitely wherever we go, because it's definitely all men around me. Just make it your advantage, your strength.
I totally agree with you, and it actually comes back to where we began, that like they said, may the force be with you. So yeah, the force is within us, the power is within us, and we just need to not be afraid and just let it shine. And yeah, it's a challenging way, it's a challenging path, journey, but that was beautiful how you described it now, just how I'm going to succeed, not how I'm going to fail. Like, ask yourself, am I going to succeed? Of course, we also have to understand the risks and to mitigate the risks and to see how to address them. But again, I'm going to succeed, and of course to balance it, to see that we're going in the right directions, to check ourselves, to be humble. Everyone, not just women, we all need to be humble and to work hard in order to get to the results that we would like. So Sharon, before we hit the pause button, you're soon going to turn 40, right?
Oh my God!
I just turned 40.
You're doing me out here.
No, I just celebrated mine like a month ago, and it was great. So what do you wish for yourself for this new decade, year, something good?
Wow,
beside the marathon.
Beside the marathon. So as I said, at the age of 35, I didn't know I can be so happy, so worried. Oh my God, having a startup and 2 kids, so worried. But now turning 40, first of all, I'm so lucky. I have my life partner. And again, because it's Yom HaIsha, maybe it's important for me to say, like my mom told me a few days ago, you know what, Sharon, looking back on the past 3 years, Mike really helps you with the kids. And I'm like, no, Mike is not helping with the kids. His job is not to help the kids. It's his kids also. He is there. He's raising the kids. And he is there with me, supporting me with my startup. So what am I wishing me for going forward? To keep this relationship going. And I'm lucky. And I don't know, basically raising my 2 sons, health, obviously. To raise the next round of the startup, and to enjoy it, to enjoy the team. I think one of my strongest abilities to build a great team, and this is what we have going for our startup, and to continue smiling.
So first of all, I wish you everything that you wished for yourself, and it's wonderful wishes. Maybe one anecdote. I remember that a couple of months ago when you went to Daria's delegation to Silicon Valley with React, I remember I saw in the social media picture of Mike, and Mike probably is blushing now, but he likes the attention, that's okay. So we know our guys. He held your very, very newborn, right, in his arms, and you were pitching or in some meeting or something, and I remember I thought to myself that I saw this picture and it was so impactful, and it said a lot, and I really relate to what you said. He's not helping with the kids, he's their dad, and it's his responsibility as well, and we're doing it together. It's not like what used to be in the past, and this is not how I run my family, as you say. So I really wish you luck and success and health, and to keep doing this amazing thing that you're doing, and to nurture your team and your boys, and really to smile. You have a beautiful smile. Thank you for coming here and sharing with the listeners this positive and growing mindset of how, dealing with the challenges and the obstacles that you had, and also show the potential and the faith in good, that things will happen from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, and then back, because this is the journey. So thank you again for sharing this with us and giving them the good belief that things can really happen. For people who want to reach out to you, where they can find you?
Solutum, SOLUTUM.co.
You have many openings now?
Yes.
I always ask it because, it's a great place for to recruit and
We're
to bring
always
in
looking
new
for good
talents.
people, obviously. Yeah.
Great. So thanks again, Sharon.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you. To our
Reflecting.
lovely...
Yeah.
That's what I do. To our lovely listeners, we're going to hit pause until the next episode. It's also something I say to the entrepreneurs in my clinic in between sessions. If you enjoyed listening, I would really appreciate it if you share the podcast with people who you think would derive value from it. Thank you to the amazing studios at Google Campus that help allow me to record all this wonderful content in here. Feel free to visit my website at galiblochliran.com and leave your details there if you wish to be updated and learn more about the mental aspects of the entrepreneurial journey. Also, be sure to follow my podcast, The Human Founder, in any of your podcast apps. Let's hit pause. Till next time.